Hello everyone, this is Helios Raven. I tell you how I do it, even if you don't care. And today I'm going to do another review on models here. These are three of my Imperial Guard tanks for my Adeptus Mechanicum army. And that is actually coming very speedily along. I just have to finish up this tank here, and two more tanks, and my 1850 tournament size army. It will be complete, and then I'll be doing a video showing off the entire army, and then I can work on my last apocalypse tank for it and move on to some of my other army projects that I've got. So because of this, I decided to do a quick review of the new Imperial Guard tank models. Now, as you can see, here is one of the new Imperial Guard tank models. This is the Demolisher kit that makes the Demolisher, the Punisher, and the Executioner. This is the old Leman Russ model tank kit, and this guy here is, well, what he is he's sort of what I would call a rescue tank. What it was is a player at the gaming store I go to played Space Wolves with the old codex, and he had the original Leman Russ Annihilator, and he gave me the tank for a price that, now when I think about it, I feel I might have paid a little bit too much for, but that's neither here nor there. And what it was is it was kind of a debacled mess, to say the least. It didn't have any tank treads. It was overly glued in a lot of spots, but it did have magnetic sconces, which I did have to repair myself, but I got essentially free magnets out of it, which is nice. And it did have one benefit thing that I will be grateful for, is it did have a Demolisher dozer blade, so it actually had room for the cannon to poke out and fire amongst it, so that's pretty neat. So I got a neat loot, so it's a little bit more unique. I had to use the Punisher cannon from his box set to make this little apparatus. It's a little it's not as nice as it could have been, mainly because it is missing the bottom plate here that I'm going to have to probably put some poster card. I'm probably just going to leave as is. I haven't decided yet. So I have to work on that and stuff, and it's coming along fine. But this guy here is the... Oh. That's what you get for using paint jars to stand them up. This is the new model set right here. And first I'm going to talk about what I like about the new tanks. What I like about the new tanks, since it's already kind of been known, is the way the sponsons work. They now make these slotted, so I can easily take the guns out and replace them, and for those who don't feel like magnetizing their tanks, they don't have to anymore. They could just remove the sponson gun if they want to. They do fall out really easily, but it's worth it just for the sheer fact that they're like that. And then you can glue the top on here, and this one functions just out right there. So I like that a lot. There's, let's see, some other interesting. Some of the smaller minor details are now put on the tank. This way you don't have to deal with them so much. And, they're already attached on, so, which is really nice. Like, this back piece here is already attached to it. The doors are already attached to it. Let's see, what other parts of it, let's see. That seems to be pretty much it. This chassis piece is easier to attach because they marked out these lines on it, so you can just glue it right on without any issues. These pieces are still separate. This is multiple pieces, which I don't understand why, but I'm not really complaining. It's not too bad of a construction to do. One thing I am a little bit upset about is the sheer fact that there are some details that are permanently attached to the tank. For example, this piece right here. This piece is now attached. The only thing that's separate now, if I can get it off, is there we go, is the little door frame. Now, this kind of upsets me a little bit because I have plans for custom door lids on the top, and I really didn't want this piece to be here, but now I have to do some fancy craft work, which I'm still, you know, I'm fairly okay with, but I'm not really good at it. So it's going to cause a little bit more problems than it does solve situations. I would have actually preferred if they kept this style of tank tops, or at least if anything, have this as the final product. This way, because this is easier to custom work than the other way around. So I kind of preferred this top over the new age tops, but you know, it is what it is. I can't really do anything about it. But so I'm just hoping that it doesn't cause as many problems as I'm fearing that it will. Sorry. Now, another thing that I really like is the tank treads. The way the tank treads work in this one setup. Now, it's no longer those round cylinders inside the tank, and then the tank treads just line on top of them, which I hated to death. I mean, it was just a pain in the butt, and you had to really be careful with what you were doing. Like, for example, on this tank here, when I was trying to clean up all the excess glue and such from the original model, like, see right there. I have to reattach the piece that goes there. Like, there's a lot of excess glue on this thing that I just couldn't get off. I ran into an issue with this foot here, where the cylinder here broke off, and it just rattled around in there, and which caused that, you know, this gap separation. Thankfully, it's down near the ground, so you can't really see it. But, you know, that's one big issue. You know, if one part of these tank treads breaks, then you're kind of screwed over with getting those tank treads in there. Now, like, another good example is this guy right here. I don't remember if it was this tank or not. I don't believe it was, but what happened was I was having issue with getting the tank treads lined up. So what I did was I made sure all of these pieces were properly lined, and I made sure that all the mess-ups were in here so I can hide them with the tank tread covers. So, but what they did now, which is one of my I'm thankful that they've done this, and I wish they did it sooner, is here on a Chimera track, is they added these little notches right here, and all the tank treads have these little well, these guys don't have them as much as the Lehman Russ model kit does, but these tank treads actually, yeah, they actually do still. These tank treads actually fit perfectly in these little sockets. Not only does it make it easier to to place the tracks down, it makes it where you can't really make any mess-ups in the tank tread placements, causing imperfections in the tank treads. So it makes it basically 10 times better in making it 10 times easier to set up your tank treads. Now, granted, I feel that the Lehman Russ set was a little bit better, because on the Lehman Russ sets, they actually have numbers placed along the sides of the tank treads. And let's see, actually, is it on these guys here? No, like right here would say L1, and on the tracks they'd have a corresponding number which you would just match up. So it just made it 10 times easier for getting the tank treads up and running, which I really am grateful that they did that, because it just makes things so much easier and less hassling. Now, one other thing is like on the Chimera here, just because I'm not happy that they put the door there, because I like to put my own little custom pieces on, and that just makes it a little bit harder, so now all my tanks relatively look the same. Granted, in armies and such, you know, tanks don't go for uniqueness, you know, they're more it gives you more that factory assembly line feel, which is more proper for them, but it wasn't something that I was a little unhappy with. But not to the point where I'd say these model kits were terrible. all in all, I do like the new tank turret a lot. I mean, it keeps enough of the original tank turret while adding its own unique style, which gives it this nice really look, so they're kind of distinguishable. So now I can really say, you know, here, this, like, yet I'm still debating on what I'm going to do with the bottom of him, for him, but, you know, I'll figure that out when I do. And so, all in all, these models were actually, the new model kits are 10 times better than the old Lehman Russ ones. There are some things about the old models that I like over the new ones, but all in all, I think the new models came out 10 times better than the originals. And I just feel that, you know, I'm not happy with the price spike that they did, but it wasn't too bad on the Lehman Russes. I believe they're, you know, they're $50, I believe, if I'm correct. They're about $50, $49.99, which I believe was the price of the Demolisher kit. So you're basically getting that. What's also an interesting thing is the way the turret works now is you can rig it where the turrets pop on and off, but the problem is this back piece here. Like, if you want the really nice plasma cannon look, you can't really put the Punisher gun on it, because then it's like, why does it got a plasma generator on the back of the thing? But, that's one of those things, though. You still have the option to take this piece off and put on a different piece. I didn't. I just glued it on there because I don't really care. I'm always going to have this as an Executioner model, so it doesn't really bother me. I did keep the plasma cans attached onto it just for the sheer fact that I may switch out the sponsons. I don't know. Depends on what type of army that I'm going up against in the game and such. But all in all, like I said, it's a great model. And so I'm hoping that Games Workshop continues to improve upon their old plastic kits without going very really crazy and extreme. And so that's really all I have left. That's really all I have left to talk about today. I'm sorry for some of the more bland videos that I've been having lately. It's just that I haven't really gotten to any new projects that I felt would be interesting as how-tos or anything like that. And I'm still working on getting a better camera so I can do battle reports again. I might do a still image battle report, so keep a lookout for that. And like I said, definitely a video in about another week or two. I'm hoping just a week. I'll do a whole video, probably one or two, because of the size of the army, to just show off the entire Imperial Guard army when it's finally complete, and what I have for it, what my tactical idea was when I was thinking about it, and what my plans for it in the future will be. And so that's all I have for today. Until next time, this is Helios Raven, signing off.